The power of life and death is in the tongue. How to use your power of the spoken word to positively make changes and affect your life. Let's talk about it right here on Optimal Expression. Hello and welcome to Optimal Expression, where we embrace our greatest potential to manifest our wildest dreams. Good people, it's a beautiful day here in Chi-Town, and it's windy in the Windy City right now. I'm indoors, but my windows are open. So you might hear my blinds, a little bit clackling in the background. You might hear a car going by with sounds, okay? Worst off, you might hear a motorcycle. Motorcycles are cool, but man, they make too much noise sometimes. Okay? Just wanted to get that out the way. Also, urge you guys to please continue to send me your questions in the comments and email. I notice most people like to send an email, I guess because, maybe it's a little personal, the question you have for my series, Why are Men Like That? I got a couple of more episodes coming up for that real soon. But right now, we are on exercising your power. And in the first episode, I talked about the power of imagination, your wonderful human imagination, as said many times by Neville Goddard. And when we're talking about the power of imagination, many times I urge people to use the imagination in conjunction with an affirmation. Because when you are using affirmations, you are exercising your power and the power of your spoken word. Now, the cool thing about these powers is when you use them collectively, when you use them together, they're more powerful, more effective. You can see results in your wishes and desires quicker. Is it quickie? More quickly. All right. Yeah. You can see results more quickly when you use the powers in conjunction with one another. Okay? So that's why I urge people to use affirmations with imagination and with the other powers that I'm going to discuss here. And this is why we have to talk about the power of the spoken word. It's so subtle. We use the power of the spoken word every day, and we aren't even aware of the weight that our words carry. Okay? In Proverbs 18:21, it talks about the tongue having the power of life and death. Meaning, the tongue, or what you say, with the power of your spoken word, you can bless someone, you can curse someone, you can build, you can destroy, you can inspire, or you can discourage, right? All with the same tool of your spoken word. And you have the free will, which is a power in and of itself. You have the free will to determine how you're going to use that power. Are you going to use that power to your benefit, or are you going to self-sabotage and use that power against yourself, the same way people do when they talk negatively about themselves or when they talk about others in a negative way? Okay? So, one of the most important things to understand about the power of the spoken word is that the tongue is the gateway between your inner world and the outer world. We can think about something, we can meditate on an idea, and we can imagine something, and it's all internal. It's all in the inner dimension of yourself. But the moment you speak it, it is no longer only inside. When you speak it, you introduce this idea or this thought into the 3D reality. It is now a physical manifestation because it can be measured by the five senses. When you speak it, now you have introduced it into this reality. And that's powerful on so many levels. It's so powerful when you understand the chain of events that happen and how, as I said before, when you use the powers in conjunction with one another, then whatever you are giving attention to is even more powerful, okay? So many things happen before you even get to the point where you're saying something. An idea, a belief is gaining momentum. It's gaining power with every step. And when you speak it, then you're giving additional power to that belief and that idea. And I want to give you an example of this, okay? You can have an idea, and it could be this idea or belief. It can come from what you see around you, whatever your waking reality is, right? So let's just say you take a look in the mirror and you think to yourself, I'm fat. Okay? Now, your outer reality, you're looking at what the physical reality is right now, and you believe that you're fat. That's the, what's the word? Observation. You believe that you're fat. That's the observation that you just made. Okay? So that's the idea. Then you're going to give attention to that idea and think to yourself how bad you look, how ugly you look, how no one's going to want to be with someone of this weight size. And then it's going to generate a feeling. And that feeling is not going to be good. Okay? If you look at yourself and think that you're fat and you don't like being fat, and then you think nobody's going to like me because I'm fat, and I don't even like myself because I'm fat, right? That's going to generate a feeling within yourself. That feeling is your frequency. And guess what happens when that happens? You are attracting more of an experience of being overweight. And then the cherry on top is when you say it out loud, when you're talking, not even just to yourself, when you talking out loud to somebody else and you say how overweight you are, how big you are, what your size is. I don't even want to get on the scale anymore. That's adding more and more and more, right? You are using your power negatively against yourself. Now, life is all about change. We are not here to stay the same. If you make an observation that you don't like and you desire to change it, the number one thing you need to know is that it's possible. And understand that you have the power within you to change any circumstance. So now we're going to rewind and flip the script. When you look in the mirror and you see yourself and you don't like what you see in the mirror and you think that you're fat, making that observation, what can be done differently? You can see something and you can decide, you know what? I don't like what I see in the mirror. And I believe that I have the power to change it. You can use your imagination to see yourself the way you want to be seen. You can think about how wonderful you're going to feel about yourself and all of the great compliments you're going to have when people see this great change in you. You can think about it's going to be a challenge, but you have the will and the discipline to do what you need to do to make sure that this change comes about. If that means changing your diet, if that means adopting a workout regimen, if that means you're going to visualize yourself in the mirror every day, seeing yourself the way you want to see yourself, these are the type of thoughts we're going to harbor and give attention to. And we're going to feel gratitude, number one, in the fact that we have the power to change it. And secondly, we're going to feel the gratitude as if it's already happened. And imagine the feeling of feeling satisfied with yourself, being content with who you are. And then you're going to put the cherry on top and say, I look good. I am healthy. I feel healthy. I look beautiful. I know it, and everybody else knows it. When you say that out loud, you're putting the cherry on top, okay? And you're compounding your power. You're bringing that energy and you're using it in a powerful way that's going to benefit you, because it's all about beneficial living. Why are we going to talk about something if I'm not going to be better off as a result of it? Even with a conversation, don't carry on a negative conversation with someone else, exchanging negative words. Now, sometimes you have to defend yourself and you do what you have to do and you brush it off, you move on, sage yourself, do what you need to get your energy right, okay? But I'm talking even in a day-to-day conversation. Be careful about what you're saying, because every time you say something, you are emitting an energy and a frequency. Okay? And like attracts like. We have to be aware of the type of energy we're expressing, especially with our words. Okay? This is why in church we sing. This is why we clap. It's frequency. It's a sound. There's power in that, okay? When you think about how the power of the spoken word is used every day, even more so now than ever with social media and all the influencers we have on social media, with all of the vlogs that are online right now, okay? And I don't know if anything influences people more than your local news. How many people tuning into the news every day? Music. Music is so powerful. If you're singing, you are exercising your power of the spoken word. It's not just when you talk, especially when you sing or when you rap, because then it has a ring to it. It has a rhythm, and rhythm has power. You understand how you walk in power even when you're not even trying, because you are power. If you get nothing else from this series, I hope you get that. Okay? Speeches. When someone gives a speech, it inspires someone, it influences someone, and it will make you want to get up and take action. It brings me to Scarface, one of my favorite movies, right? And in the movie, Tony was supposed to take out somebody and keep them from giving a speech. Tony, my friend was not supposed to make that speech, Tony. But Tony could not kill any kids. I'm not going to kill any kids, man. But they had to get the guy out the way because his speech was going to influence people. The spoken word can be a more powerful weapon than the gun. This is why we have lost some of our most influential leaders. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Bob Marley, JFK, Robert Kennedy, John Lennon, Tupac. These are all people who had the power to move the masses and inspire others in a way that scared a lot of people. Yeah. But you don't have to be afraid. Understand that you harbor this power within you naturally, right now. So I want you all to understand that the most important thing is understanding that, number one, you have the power. When you speak, it is power. Okay? Even in magic, this is why spells usually have a a speaking part to the ritual. A lot of times there may be a rhyme in that spell, or even to talk about the word spell. Every letter has a frequency. Every word has a frequency. This is the power of your spoken word. That sounds right there. That's good music. Power in good music. All right. So, when we talking about, also, when monks are humming, when monks are chanting, they're or there's power in that frequency. There's power in that chant. That's why they do it. Okay? So, understanding this, I want us to all commit ourselves to only speaking life, to only speaking blessings, to only speaking to build and not to destroy. Catch yourself the next time you find yourself speaking negatively about yourself, and correct it. Correct it. Okay? Luckily, in 3D, it takes time to manifest. You can rewind and edit. Correct it. Decide that you are only going to speak life over yourself and others. I'm sure we've all had experiences where someone has spoken ill of us, has talked bad about us, and made us feel terrible. Maybe you've had an experience where you've made someone else feel terrible. And a lot of times, you don't feel good when you make somebody else feel bad. But we've also had those experiences when we haven't been in the best place emotionally, and we may be having a bad day, and we go to a loved one who can make us feel better with words of encouragement. Encourage your loved ones and those around you. Speak life over them. Bless them with your word. You can only reap the benefits of blessing yourself. Don't talk about how fat you are. Don't talk about how broke you are. Don't talk about how nobody will ever love you. That's not going to make things better. Instead, talk about how beautiful you are. Talk about how wonderful you are. Talk about how powerful you are, how rich you are. Talk about how lovable you are. The law of assumption says, if you believe something long enough and talk about it as if it is so, it will be. And that's a universal law. And I've used it myself time and time again. And I can tell you from practical experience, it works. All right? So the next time you find yourself in doubt, pause and say, no. I'm not going to use God's name in vain. When I say I am, it's going to be followed by a positive statement. I am great and I can do anything. That is the truth. I hope this message resonated with you. Please remember to like and subscribe. And I'm going to see you right here next time on Optimal Expression. Peace and love.